Hello again, Howard Baxton here. Um, in this video, we're going to look at how we set up our chain points, our cuffs, and our rings. In this case, our cuffs are going to be the sending um, unit, and this donut ring is going to be our receiving unit for particle chains. So we're basically sending it a particle chain between one prim within the cuff to a prim within um, that thing, the receiver. So anyway, let's take a look here and see how we're going to set this up. This is land impact of 1, and more info, it's 1 prim. Okay, so inside that 1 prim, for contents, we have the cuffs plug-in. We need a cuffs plug-in, 1 cuffs plug-in for every linked item we have. We don't have but just 1 prim here, so that's the one that gets it. We also have the prop plug-in because this guy is going to be resed. Okay, so it does need the prop plug-in so nPose can communicate with it and send signals to the cuffs plug-in. We also have a rope texture in there in case you want to change from chains to a rope and you want to call that rope by name. The texture has to be inside contents so that this script can find it. If this guy were the sender of chains, in other words, chains were going from here to here, this guy would need to know where that's at. So that's why I put it in there. Because we do have that option. We can go either way. We can send from here to there or from here to there. Okay, that's about it for the contents, the cuffs plug-in, and the prop plug-in. And the purpose of the cuffs plug-in is to draw chains, obviously. And the prop plug-in is so that nPose can communicate with the cuffs plug-in. And the rope, because just in case we wanted to call it by name rather than UUID. So what else is important about this is the description. When we put our line in a note card, we need to know the ID of the sender and the ID of the destination. So this one here has a particular ID of ring LL. LL standing for lower left is about all I can tell you, and it's a ring. So, and that is it. There's no other thing to that. So now let's go and look at the cuff. As you see, the cuff has a land impact of 2, and it has 3 prims. Okay, and if we look at this guy, you can actually see the root prim is the yellow one, which is the cuff itself, and we have 2 linked prims, which are these little invisible balls down here in the middle. They don't have to be invisible, but that's just kind of the way I did it. Okay, so now this guy has an ID as well, but this ID is used for a different purpose. We're going to use this ID to tell which prim needs to be visible or invisible. We're going to use it in a show hide thing in our menu. Other than that, that's all there is there. If we go look in contents, we have that infamous cuff plugin. We have the infamous prop plugin. And for this one, we also have the prim parameter editor, prim params editor, I should say, so that we can hide anything with the ID of cuff is how we're going to use it. These guys do not have the cuff ID, so we won't be hiding those, but we will hide this one, and I'll explain why here a little bit later. Any rate, so if we go down here and go look at these invisibles, these are actually the prims that the chains will either be drawn from or the destination of a chain from someone else. And here we've got a left ankle as the ID for that one, which is a lock guard legal or ID or whatever you want to call it. And the other invisible prim, we've got an ID of LL cuff, which is a Lockmeister ID. So we can use lockguard or Lockmeister IDs, or if we don't like those, or if we want to extend it a little bit further, we can create our own IDs and use those. Okay, so this is so that the cuff script can identify that prim by this ID. And also, so that the plugin, the cuffs plugin, can identify this linked prim by this ID. Okay, that's the significance here. And seriously, that is all there is to setting up these cuffs. It is amazing. Amazingly simple, we'll put it that way. And that's how I have on these cuffs. In the next video I'll be talking about how to set up and use in an actual application our chain points. Thank you.